Alright, what's going on, Catholic of Rome? Video number 4, answer number 4. Like I said, I'm going to answer all of them today, and like you said, this is probably your last one, and hopefully you get back to all of us, especially those who took the time to make video responses. I mean, because anyone can take 2 seconds to write some kind of debunking, hate-mongering text comment, So hopefully, at least the video responses get a response from you. Your question was pretty much focused around Jesus the person. Was he a real person? If he was a real person, was he delusional? And I'll tell you this. I believe that Jesus Christ was a myth and was a made-up person. Now, there have been a number of messiahs from that era, from that time, a number of people who not necessarily claim to be the Son of God, but claim to be messiahs and claim to be, the same thing basically. So my whole thing is that it's not necessarily that Jesus, the man or the myth was lying or anything like that. It's just that it was the people that wrote about him. If Jesus Christ was a real person, because everything is based in fact. Look at Marvel Comics. There's a man called Peter Parker who lives in New York City who got bit by a radioactive spider who can turn into Spider-Man at will and shoot webs from his wrists and scale buildings and shoot his sticky web at people and has superhuman strength. Now, is there an actual guy that can shoot web from his wrists and throws on a red suit and goes around shooting webs and saving the world? Probably not. Is there a guy named Peter Parker in New York? Probably many Peter Parkers walking around in New York. Was there a guy named Peter Parker that possibly that the creator of Spider-Man knew and ran into and just talked to and just knew the name Peter Parker and maybe he went to school with them and blah blah blah. So like I said, in every mythological story, in every fairy tale, in every book is all based in fact. Even if the book itself says this book is complete work of fiction. Excuse me. It's a complete work of fiction. There's always elements in that story that are all fact. Like I said, was there a man named Jesus Christ? Maybe. Was he everything that his writers wrote about him? Probably not. Because there's no, out of all the books in the Bible that reference him, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, James, Paul, all the books that reference and quote Jesus, they quote him and they say what he said, but there's no Jesus book of the Bible. You also referenced it has a lot to do with faith, and that you hope to plant a mustard seed, and I like the reference. He that has faith of a mustard seed can move mountains. So that'll right there will let you know that I'm pretty versed in Christianity and scripture. Another thing, you quoted from something that has been widely known as fraud, as a made up document, the made up literature. It was not real. You also referenced the person that did it wrong. The governor during the time of Christ, the governor of Judea was actually Pontius Pilate, with Caesar being the emperor of Rome. But yeah, the governor of Judea back in that time was actually Pontius Pilate. All you have to do is go to Google and you can find that out pretty quickly, which lets you know, kind of debunks your document that you read from. There's been many other descriptions of Jesus. There's actually a description of Jesus in the Bible that says he had olive skin and his hair was coarse and things of that nature. So, I mean, there's many descriptions of Jesus. I mean, look at all the paintings and buttons and candles and pictures of him on books. there's many different descriptions of Jesus Christ. I want you to do me a favor, man. Just for your own self, and just for your just to keep an open mind. Like you said, you're not going to convert a lot of people with this. Like you said, you're just trying to plant seeds. And I'm not trying to plant seeds of doubt in you, and I'm not trying to plant seeds of doubt in your faith or anything like that. But I want you to do a couple of things for me. I want you to go into Google, and I want you to type in Jesus, Christianity, Christians and Egyptians compared. Okay? Or look up something like Jesus compared to, other messiahs. And you will quickly find out that through time, there's been many other references to men who ascended from heaven, from the heavens, performed miracles, raised the dead, and died on a cross, only to rise up again 3 days later. That is referenced many times throughout history, and it does nothing to do with just Jesus Christ. Before you blindly follow something with faith, do your research. I'm not debunking anything you're saying, and I'm not putting down your faith. I find it commendable that in this time of doubt in your government and in just the world around you with crime going on and stuff like that, I find it commendable that there are young people out there that are still very faithful, and that's cool, man. But do your research and look that up, and look up, just reference it, man. Look up how the story of Jesus Christ can be referenced to the winter solstice. That is the original Jesus Christ story, actually. You will be dumbfounded by how you might have overlooked this. Look up that at least. Look up Jesus Christ compared to the winter solstice. Like just reference the two in Google. Just type in something of that nature, and look up the story of the winter solstice and how it compares to Jesus Christ. Your jaw will drop and won't come up. I'm telling you. That wasn't the thing that converted me from anything. I was never converted. I was always from a young age always in doubt of religion, and just had a lot of questions that no one could answer. So I went and found it myself, basically. And of course, not all my questions can be answered in either one, but science makes more sense to me. But yeah, the winter solstice story, man, it changed my life. Really, it did. It opened up my eyes, and it really enlightened me a little bit to understand like why I feel the way that I do. Like I said, the thing you read from the governor of Judea back then about how he described Jesus having long hair and a beard past his chin, and ripe chestnuts colored hair and blue eyes and things of that nature. It's like I said, that's been, and I'm not saying it. I'm not saying that you're wrong for quoting from it. I'm not saying that you're a bad person or that you're being deceiving. I'm just saying that particular document has been debunked by not necessarily atheists, just historians in general. Even Christian historians have debunked that as fraud. You may or may not have known that. So anyway, man, hopefully you understand where I'm coming from a little bit, and hopefully through my other 3 videos that I made in this one, you understand that I'm not a God-hating monger that is going to come on here and spit hate towards Christianity or towards God or anything like that. I respect your God, and I respect the fact that you follow God, and I just hope that you take out the time to live your life with an open mind, and never let the wool never let the wool be pulled over your eyes. Another thing, it's completely free. Go to Google and just type in Zeitgeist. It's Zeitgeist, Zeitgeist, the movie. Look it up and watch it. Give it a chance. Watch it with an open mind.